1 year after the burning, Jin-Ho stood on the lunar surface. Through his helmet, he stared at the ships taking shape in the hidden crater before him. 20 sleek vessels, built in secret using plans developed on Earth and parts made on Proxima. "They're beautiful," Yeonmai said, standing beside him. Her voice came through the radio in his helmet. "And deadly," Jin-Ho added. The lunar base had been small before the attack, just a research station. Now it was humanity's shipyard. Workers moved between the ships, adding final parts and systems. Do-hyun approached them, his spacesuit marked with the blue stripe of the science team. "The new drive is ready," he said. "We've tested it on the small scout ship. It works better than we hoped." "No energy signature?" Jin-Ho asked. "None. The aliens won't see us coming." Jin-Ho nodded. Project Darkness was moving forward, a plan born of desperation and rage. Humanity's answer to those who tried to wipe them out. The three walked to the main airlock and entered the base. Inside, they removed their helmets. The control room was busy with people checking screens and calling orders. Soo-bin met them with a tablet in hand. "All 20 ships are nearly ready. We have crews volunteering from both Earth and Proxima." "How many volunteers?" Jin-Ho asked. "More than we need," Soo-bin said. "Everyone wants to go." Jin-Ho knew why. There was no future on Earth. The planet would remain toxic for centuries. The survivors were living on borrowed time in their bunkers. This mission was their only hope. "Each ship will target one of the alien worlds we've identified," Jin-Ho said. "We'll strike them all at once." "With what?" Soo-bin asked. "We still don't have weapons that can hurt them." Before Jin-Ho could answer, Hae-yoon entered the room. At 18, she was the youngest person on the base, but everyone treated her with respect. Her work had made Project Darkness possible. "We have the weapons now," she said. She walked to the main screen and brought up images of a small device. "I call it the Starbreaker," she said. "It uses the same technology they used against us, but reversed. Instead of heating up an atmosphere, it disrupts the fusion process in a star." The room went silent. "You're talking about killing stars," Do-hyun said quietly. Hae-yoon nodded. "They killed our world. We'll kill their stars." Jin-Ho looked at his daughter. She had changed in the years since the attack. They all had. "Each ship will carry one Starbreaker," Jin-Ho said. "We'll give them a chance to surrender first. If they refuse..." He didn't need to finish. Everyone understood. "I want to go," Hae-yoon said suddenly. Jin-Ho and Yeonmai both turned to her in shock. "No," Yeonmai said. "Absolutely not. I created the Starbreaker," Hae-yoon argued. "I need to be there to make sure it works." "It's too dangerous," Jin-Ho said. Hae-yoon pointed to the screen showing Earth, a dead world wrapped in toxic clouds. "More dangerous than staying here?" she asked. "We have no future on Earth, Dad. You know that." Jin-Ho looked at his wife. They had discussed this before. The mission was one way. The ships had fuel to reach their targets, but not to return. "I already signed up," Hae-yoon continued. "Captain Soo-bin approved me." Soo-bin looked away, unable to meet Jin-Ho's angry gaze. "She's the best engineer we have," Soo-bin said quietly. "We need her." Jin-Ho wanted to argue, but he knew they were right. And Hae-yoon was an adult now, at least in this new world where childhood ended the day the sky burned. "Which ship?" he finally asked. "The lead ship, with Captain Kang," Hae-yoon replied. Jin-Ho nodded slowly. Soo-bin Kang was the best captain they had. If anyone could keep his daughter safe, it was her. "When do we launch?" Yeonmai asked, her voice tight with emotion. 3 days, Soo-bin said. Jin-Ho looked through the window at the ships outside. 20 vessels, humanity's last hope. The ghost fleet that would carry their revenge to the stars. "Then we have work to do," he said. 3 months had passed since the sky burned. Jin-Ho sat at a metal table in the heart of Bunker 3, studying reports from around the world. The news was always the same. Bad. How many of us are left? Asked Subin, the former captain who now led their security teams. Jin-Ho rubbed his tired eyes. Best guess? 30 million, maybe less. From a world of 10 billion to this, those who had been in deep mines, underwater bases, or special bunkers like this one had survived. Everyone else was gone. The surface? Subin asked. Still too hot. The air is toxic. Nothing can live up there for long. The door opened and Yeonmei walked in with Do-hyun Kim, their lead physicist. Do-hyun carried a tablet filled with charts and numbers. I think we know who attacked us, Do-hyun said. He placed the tablet on the table. Look at these energy patterns. The screen showed 7 different wavelengths, each with a distinct signature. 7 different alien civilizations, Do-hyun explained. All type II on the Kardashev scale. What does that mean? Subin asked. It means they can use all the energy of their stars, Yeonmei said. They're far more advanced than us. But why attack Earth? Jin-Ho asked. Do-hyun shrugged. My theory. They see any new spacefaring race as a threat. When we reached Proxima Centauri, they decided to stop us before we could grow. Jin-Ho finished. The room fell silent. Humanity's first step to the stars had triggered its own destruction. The door burst open again. Hae-yoon rushed in, her face flushed with excitement. I found something, she said. She pushed past the adults and connected her own tablet to the main screen. The alien weapons left behind quantum signatures. I can trace them back to their sources. Jin-Ho stared at his daughter with pride and worry. In the 3 months since the attack, Hae-yoon had thrown herself into her mother's work. Sometimes he forgot she was only 17. Are you sure? Yeonmei asked, studying her daughter's findings. Positive, Hae-yoon said. We can find them. And then what? Subin asked. We can barely survive here. How can we fight beings who can destroy worlds? Before anyone could answer, an alarm sounded. Jin-Ho ran to the communication station where a young operator sat with wide eyes. Sir, we're receiving a transmission from Proxima Centauri. The room went still. No one had heard from the colony since the attack. Put it through, Jin-Ho ordered. The screen flickered, then showed the face of a woman. Her eyes were hard, her expression grim. This is Director Yoona Han of Proxima Colony, she said. Earth, if you can hear us, we still stand. What are your orders? Jin-Ho felt something he hadn't felt in months. Hope. We hear you, Director Han. This is Commander Park. How many colonists survived? All 5,000 of us, Yoona replied. The aliens didn't attack us. Maybe they didn't know we were here. Jin-Ho turned to look at the others. 5,000 more humans, safe on another world, and with resources they no longer had on Earth. Director Han, Jin-Ho said, we need your help. Earth is dying. We need to build ships. Ships? Yoona asked. To bring you here? No, Jin-Ho said, his voice hardening. To find those who did this to us. Hae-yoon stepped forward. I can send you the quantum signatures. With them, you can track the aliens who attacked us. Do-hyun raised his hand. I've been working on a new drive system. I'll send the plans. If it works, we could reach them. Jin-Ho looked around the room at the faces of the last defenders of Earth. The enemy thinks we're finished, he said. They think they've won, but they only killed our world. They didn't kill us. On the screen, Director Han nodded. Send everything you have. We'll build your ships. Subin, who had been quiet, finally spoke. And then what? What can we possibly do against beings who can burn worlds? Jin-Ho's eyes were cold. We teach them that humanity doesn't die easily, and we make them pay for every life they took. In the dim light of the bunker, the last survivors of Earth began to plan their revenge. The Vengeance shook as it dodged enemy fire. Subin gripped her chair, watching the Talon ships on the main screen. They were fast, but their weapons couldn't lock onto the human ship's stealth drive. "We can't keep this up forever," the pilot warned. "We don't need forever," Subin replied. "Just long enough for their star to die." On a side screen, images showed the Talon star. It was now visibly dimmer, its once bright yellow light fading to orange. "Captain," the communications officer called out, "we're getting signals from the other ships. All report their targets are dimming as planned." Subin nodded. Humanity's revenge was working. The collective would learn that destroying Earth had been their greatest mistake. Min Su stood at his station, watching the evacuation of the Talon planets. His face had grown pale. "Captain, I need to speak with you," he said quietly. "Now is not the time." Subin snapped as the ship shook again. "It has to be now," Min Su insisted. "It's about what we've done." Subin sighed. "Make it quick." "We're killing billions," Min Su said, his voice shaking. "Just like they did to us. We've become what we hated." Before Subin could answer, Heyoon called out from her station. "Captain, I found something in my calculations. Something bad." Subin moved to Heyoon's screen. "What is it?" "The Starbreaker doesn't just shut down fusion. When the stars fully die, they'll release massive gamma-ray bursts." Heyoon pointed to her data. "Those bursts will affect neighboring systems too." Subin froze. "How many systems?" "Dozens," Heyoon whispered. "Possibly hundreds. Most with planets. Many with life." The bridge fell silent despite the battle raging outside. They had come to punish those who had burned Earth. But now they might be killing countless innocent worlds too. "Can we stop it?" Subin asked. Heyoon typed frantically. "Maybe. If we could get a team to each star, we might be able to modify the Starbreaker. Not to stop it completely, but to control the burst." At that moment, the ship's computer beeped. A message was coming in, not from the Talon, but from one of the species that had surrendered. An alien face appeared on screen. It spoke, and their translator converted the words. "Humans of Earth, we have detected what your weapons are doing to the stars. The death of 4 stars will create a cascade that will destroy much of this region of space. We offer our help to prevent this." Subin looked at Heyoon, who nodded. "They're right. This is worse than I calculated." Subin opened a channel to Jinho on Earth. His face appeared, concerned. "We have a problem," Subin told him. She explained what they had learned. Jinho was quiet for a long moment. "We wanted justice, not genocide beyond anything the collective did." "What should we do?" Subin asked. "Accept their help. Try to control the star's death. The collective must be punished, but we won't become monsters to do it." Subin turned back to her crew. "Contact the other ships. Tell them to accept help from the surrendered species. We need to modify the Starbreakers immediately." Heyoon was already working. "I think we can dim the stars permanently without destroying them completely. Make their worlds cold, but not obliterate them." Min Su looked at Subin. "Is that enough? After what they did to Earth?" Subin watched the continuing evacuation on the screen. Millions of aliens fleeing their dying worlds in panic. They'll live on frozen planets orbiting dying stars. They'll remember what they did to us every time they look up at their dim sky. Subin's voice was hard. "That's justice enough." The vengeance turned toward the fading star. They had started this to avenge Earth. Now they had to finish it without becoming worse than those who had burned their world. "Set course for the star," Subin ordered. "We need to modify the Starbreaker before it's too late." Outside, the Talon star continued to dim, casting long shadows across the planets it had once warmed. Soon, those worlds would know an eternal twilight. The cost of vengeance was high, but Subin would ensure it was paid only by those who had earned it. The 20 ships of humanity's fleet gathered in the shadow of a rogue planet. This dark world, drifting between stars, made the perfect hiding place. No one would look for them here. In the main room of the Vengeance captains from all 20 ships met to hear Su Bin's report. Heyoon stood beside her, ready to share what they had learned. The beings who attacked Earth call themselves the Collective, Su Bin explained. 7 advanced species who decided we were a threat. She showed the images they had stolen from the alien base. Strange beings from different worlds, all united in their fear of humanity. They voted to burn our world, Su Bin continued. Some have done this before to other young species. They call it preventive action. The captains' faces hardened with anger. Did they even try to talk to us first? Asked one. No, Heyoon said. The files show they never considered it. They saw us reach Proxima and decided we had to be stopped. The room fell silent as this truth sank in. Billions dead, Earth destroyed, all because of fear. We have the locations of all 7 homeworlds, Su Bin said. We know where they live, where their main colonies are. A light blinked on the main console, an incoming message from Earth. Jin Ho's face appeared on the screen. The connection was weak, making his image flicker. Su Bin. Heyoon. We've received your data, he said. Have all captains made it to the meeting point? Yes, Commander, Su Bin replied. All 20 ships are here. We're discussing our next move. Jin Ho nodded. The Earth Council has reviewed your findings. We've made our decision. The Starbreaker is authorized for use. Heyoon stepped forward. Dad, I've refined the weapon. It won't destroy the stars instantly. It will give them time to evacuate, if they choose to. Good, Jin Ho said. We aren't them. We don't kill without warning. Min Su Choi, the weapons officer on the Vengeance stood up. Commander, I need to speak. Jin Ho nodded. Should we use this weapon at all? Min Su asked. We're talking about killing stars, destroying entire systems. Billions will die. Like on Earth, someone called out. Min Su faced the angry captains. Yes, what they did was horrible. But if we do the same, are we any better? The room erupted in argument. Some agreed with Min Su. Others wanted immediate revenge. Heyoon waited for the noise to die down. There's something else you need to know. Something I found in their files. She brought up new images on the screen. Charts and graphs of Earth's atmosphere. According to their own data, Earth's air won't clear for at least 500 years, she said quietly. We can't go home. Ever. The news hit like a physical blow. The last hope of returning to Earth someday was gone. The 30 million survivors in our bunkers, Heyoon continued. They have supplies for maybe 50 years. After that, she didn't need to finish. Everyone understood. Without new homes, humanity would slowly die out. Su Bin looked at the captains' faces. The Collective took our world. Now they stand in the way of us finding new ones. We can't coexist with beings who destroy others out of fear. Jin Ho spoke from the screen. We'll send a message first. A warning. A chance for them to change. But if they refuse, we must act. Su Bin nodded. Each ship will target one of the 7 species. We'll approach their home systems and deliver our message. And what is that message? Min Su asked. Simple, Su Bin replied. Acknowledge what you did. Help the survivors of Earth find new homes, or we shut off your stars. The captains nodded in agreement. Even Min Su could see they had no choice. They gave us no warning, Su Bin said, but we will give them one. One chance to make this right. Jin Ho looked at his daughter through the flickering connection. Heyoon, are you sure the Starbreaker will work? Heyoon met her father's eyes. Yes, I'm sure. Then it's decided, Jin Ho said. Humanity's answer to those who burned our skies. May they choose wisely when they hear it. The meeting ended. The fleet prepared to split into 7 groups. Each would carry humanity's ultimatum to those who had tried to exterminate them. And each would carry a Starbreaker, ready to fulfill the promise in their mission's name. Jin-Ho Park stood at the wide window of Korea Aerospace Defense's main control room, his eyes fixed on the green dots moving across the large screen. Something was wrong. "Sir, I'm seeing strange radiation patterns from multiple star systems," said the young man at the main console. Jin-Ho nodded. For 3 days, these odd energy spikes had appeared, then vanished. At first, he thought it was a system error. Now he wasn't so sure. "Call Dr. Lee to the command center," Jin-Ho ordered. His wife, Yeon-Mai, was the best physicist in the program. If anyone could make sense of these readings, she could. Jin-Ho checked his watch. Earth had just celebrated the successful setup of its first colony on Proxima Centauri V. Humanity had finally reached the stars. His daughter, Hae-yoon, had sent him a message that morning, excited about the news. "Commander Park," a voice broke his thoughts. "The energy readings are growing stronger." Jin-Ho rushed to the main screen. The green dots had turned red. Not just 1 or 2, but 7 different points in space now pulsed with angry red light. Yeon-Mai burst through the door, her lab coat flying behind her. "Jin-Ho, what's happening?" Before he could answer, the sky outside turned purple. "Energy beams detected," shouted the technician. 7 of them, all aimed at Earth's atmosphere. The room fell silent. Then the alarms began to wail. "It's a coordinated attack," Jin-Ho said, his voice eerily calm. "Someone out there doesn't want us reaching the stars." The first reports flooded in. The beams were heating Earth's atmosphere to impossible temperatures. Cities were already burning. This was no warning shot. This was extinction. "We need to save what we can," Jin-Ho said. "Start the emergency protocols. Now." Yeon-Mai gripped his arm. "The research data, we can't let it be destroyed." "Take what you can and head to Bunker 3, Jin-Ho told her. "I'll find Hae-yoon and meet you there." The building shook as the air outside grew hotter. Through the windows, Jin-Ho could see the sky turning from purple to a hellish red. Trees burst into flame. Cars melted on the streets below. Jin-Ho ran through chaos to reach his daughter's school. The air was getting harder to breathe. He pulled his jacket over his mouth and kept moving. He found Hae-yoon huddled with other students in the basement. Her eyes lit up when she saw him. "Dad." She ran to him. "What's happening?" "We need to go," was all he said. They made their way to Bunker 3, one of several deep underground shelters built after the last war. The heat above was becoming unbearable. Jin-Ho's skin felt like it was cooking even through his clothes. They reached the bunker just as the last massive doors were closing. Inside, hundreds of people sat in shocked silence. Jin-Ho found Yeon-Mai setting up equipment in a corner. "I saved the key research files," she said, not looking up from her work. "And the readings from the attack. How bad is it?" Jin-Ho asked. Yeon-Mai's hands stopped moving. "They're burning our atmosphere, Jin-Ho. Systematically. Whoever they are, they've done this before." Hae-yoon looked at the data on Yeon-Mai's screen. Despite being only 17, she understood enough of her mother's work to grasp what was happening. "They're killing Earth," she said. Jin-Ho nodded grimly. "Yes, but we're still here." The bunker shook as another wave of heat hit the surface. Emergency lights flickered. "The question is," Jin-Ho said, clenching his fists, "what do we do now?" Yeon-Mai pointed to her screen. "First, we learn everything we can about them." Hae-yoon stood straighter, her young face set with determination. "Then we fight back." Jin-Ho looked at his family, then at the frightened people around them. Earth was burning. Billions were dying. But humanity wasn't finished. "Yes," he said quietly. "We fight back." Above them, the sky fell in flames, and the burning of Earth began. 3 months in deep space had changed Subin Kang. The captain of the lead ship, *Vengeance*, stood on the bridge looking at the alien world on the main screen. Their target was finally in sight. "Status report," Subin ordered. "Ship systems normal. Stealth drive working perfectly," replied the pilot. "No sign they've detected us," added the sensor operator. Subin nodded. Do-hyun's drive had worked as promised. They had traveled faster than any human ship before, yet left no trace for alien sensors to find. Hae-yoon entered the bridge. At 19, she was the youngest crew member, but also the most important. The Starbreaker was her creation. "The weapon is ready," she said, "but I still think we should learn more about them first." Subin agreed. "We'll send a small team to their outpost on the fourth moon. Get intel before we decide what to do." Hours later, Subin led a team of 6 in a small shuttle toward the alien moon base. They wore suits designed to hide their heat signatures, more of Hae-yoon's clever work. "Remember," Subin told the team, "we need information, who they are, why they attacked Earth, and if possible, data on the other 6 species who helped them." The team landed their shuttle behind a ridge, out of sight of the alien base. They moved quickly across the rocky surface, keeping low. The base was larger than expected. Dome structures connected by clear tubes. Inside, they could see aliens moving about. "They look almost like us," whispered one of the team. "But taller, thinner." Subin used her helmet camera to record everything. The aliens were humanoid, with long limbs and large eyes. They moved with grace in the low gravity. The team found an airlock at the back of the base. Hae-yoon studied the controls, then connected a small device to the panel. "Their tech is advanced, but not impossible to hack," she said. The door slid open. They moved inside, weapons ready. The aliens didn't notice them at first. The team moved through the base, recording everything. They found a central room with screens showing maps of the galaxy. Subin recorded it all. "Look," Hae-yoon pointed to one screen. "That's Earth." The screen showed their dead world, still wrapped in toxic clouds. Next to it were images of other planets, some burned like Earth, some intact. "They've done this before," Subin said quietly. "We're not the first." They found a data terminal. Hae-yoon connected her device again. "I can copy their files," she said. "Give me a few minutes." While she worked, Subin studied the other screens. One showed what looked like a meeting. Many different alien species sat around a table. "I think I know what happened," Subin said. "These aliens are part of a group, a collective of species. They voted to destroy us." "Why?" asked one of the team. "Because we reached Proxima," Hae-yoon said, still working on the terminal. "Look at this file. They call us a potential disruptive element. They think we would be dangerous if allowed to spread to other stars." Subin's anger grew. Billions dead because of a vote, because of fear. "I have what we need," Hae-yoon said. "Names and locations of all 7 species involved in the attack." Suddenly, alarms blared. An alien had spotted them. "Time to go," Subin ordered. They ran for the airlock, but aliens blocked their path. The team fired their weapons. Blue energy beams cut through the air. 3 aliens fell, but 2 of Subin's team were hit by return fire. "Keep moving," Subin shouted. They fought their way back to the airlock. Another team member fell, then another. Only Subin, Hae-yoon, and one other made it to the shuttle. They took off as aliens poured out of the base. "Did you get everything we need?" Subin asked as they raced back to the *Vengeance*. Hae-yoon nodded, her face pale behind her helmet. "Everything. I know where they all are. And I know now that the Starbreaker will work." The shuttle docked with the *Vengeance*. Subin looked at the alien world below them. "They thought they finished us," she said, "but they just taught us how to fight." She turned to her crew. "Set course for the rendezvous point. It's time to tell the fleet what we've learned." The *Vengeance* slipped away, unseen, carrying the knowledge that would seal the fate of those who had burned Earth's skies. 1 month passed quickly. Su Bin stood on the bridge of the Vengeance watching the main screen. It showed the Talon homeworld, a beautiful blue planet much like Earth once was. "Status report," she ordered. "3 of the 7 species have fully complied with our demands," the communications officer replied. "They've acknowledged their role in Earth's destruction and offered new worlds for our survivors." "And the other 4? "The Talon and 3 others still refuse. They've evacuated some of their populations, but their leaders insist we're bluffing." Su Bin nodded. They had their chance. She opened a channel to the other ships targeting the 4 stubborn species. Each captain's face appeared on her screen. "The deadline has passed," Su Bin said. "Is everyone in position?" 3 grim faces nodded back. "Launch your starbreakers on my mark." Su Bin turned to He-Yun, who sat at her station, fingers poised over the controls. "Are you ready?" Su Bin asked. He-Yun hesitated. The weight of what they were about to do hung heavy in the air. Then she nodded firmly. "Ready, Captain." Su Bin opened one last channel to Earth. Jin Ho's face appeared, looking older than when they had left. "The deadline has passed," Su Bin reported. 3 species have surrendered. 4 still refuse. We await your final authorization." Jin Ho was silent for a moment. He looked at something off-screen, then turned back. "Our bunkers are failing faster than expected," he said quietly. "We need those new worlds the 3 species offered, but the others must understand the price of their actions." He straightened in his chair. "You have authorization. May our ancestors forgive us for what we must do." Su Bin nodded solemnly. "Understood, Commander." She turned back to the captains waiting on her screen. "Humanity has survived because we do what must be done. Launch starbreakers. Now." He-Yun pressed the button. From the Vengeance a small device shot toward the bright star at the center of the Talon system. Across space, 3 other ships did the same to their target stars. On the screen, the Talon star continued to shine, unaware of the tiny human device racing toward it. "Impact in 10 minutes, He-Yun reported, her voice steady. Su Bin opened a channel to the Talon leaders one last time. "This is your final warning. Surrender now, or face extinction." High Commander Loren appeared on screen, angry. "We will not bow to primitives. Your bluff has failed." Su Bin cut the connection without replying. There was nothing left to say. 10 minutes passed in tense silence. Then He-Yun's console beeped. "Starbreaker has reached the core," she said. At first, nothing seemed to happen. The star continued to shine as it had for billions of years. Then, almost too slight to notice, it dimmed. "It's working," He-Yun said. "The fusion process is being disrupted. It will take days to completely shut down." Reports came in from the other ships. All 4 starbreakers were functioning as designed. 4 stars across the galaxy were beginning to die. On the main screen, chaos erupted in the Talon system. Ships launched from every planet, a mass evacuation now fully underway. Too late for many. Jin Ho contacted them again. "Du Hyun has analyzed He-Yun's data. How long before complete shutdown?" 3 days for stars this size," He-Yun replied. Jin Ho nodded. "That gives them time to evacuate some of their people. More mercy than they showed us." "More than they deserve," Su Bin said coldly. Alarm suddenly blared across the bridge. The sensor officer turned to Su Bin, face pale. "Captain, multiple ships approaching at high speed. Military vessels." "Evasive maneuvers," Su Bin ordered. "All hands to battle stations." The Vengeance turned sharply, its stealth drive straining as it pushed to full power. "Can we recall the Starbreaker?" Min Su asked urgently. He-Yun shook her head. "No. Once it reaches the core, the process can't be stopped." Su Bin watched as the Talon ships approached. "It doesn't matter. We've done what we came to do. Darkness is coming for them, whether they fight us or not." Outside, the star that gave life to the Talon continued to dim. degree by degree. The darkness that would consume their worlds had begun, and humanity watched, remembering their own burned skies. 5 years had passed since the day of dimming. Jin-Ho stood at the window of the New Earth Council chamber, looking out at the sky. It was still toxic, still deadly, but machines now worked day and night to clean it. Someday, perhaps, humans might walk on the surface again. "Commander Park," a voice called from behind him. "The delegates are ready." Jin-Ho turned to face the young aide. "Thank you. I'll be right there." He straightened his uniform and walked to the main chamber. Representatives from Earth's surviving nations sat around a large table. Across from them sat 7 aliens, one from each species of the former collective. "Let us begin," Jin-Ho said as he took his seat. The main screen showed images from across the galaxy. 4 dim stars, their light now a pale shadow of what it once was. Around them orbited cold worlds where the guilty species now lived. Not dead, but forever changed. "The Terra Accords have been in effect for 4 years, Jin-Ho stated. "Today we review our progress." The Talon representative spoke first, its once proud voice now humble. "The atmospheric cleaners are working as designed. Earth's air is 15% cleaner than last year." Jin-Ho nodded. This was the new reality. The species that had tried to destroy humanity now worked to save it. "And the new colony worlds?" Jin-Ho asked. An alien from one of the species that had surrendered early answered. "The first 1,000,000 humans have been safely settled on the promised worlds. The second 1,000,000 can begin transfer next month." Humanity was spreading to the stars again, not as conquerors, but as refugees. The 30 million survivors of Earth would soon live on dozens of new worlds. After the meeting, Jin-Ho returned to his private office. Yun-Mai waited for him there, looking over data on her tablet. "How did it go?" she asked. "As expected," Jin-Ho replied. "They fear us now. They'll keep their promises." Yun-Mai smiled sadly. "Fear is a poor foundation for peace." "It's all we have for now," Jin-Ho said. "But He-Yun is working on something better." On the screen on his wall, an image appeared. Their daughter, now 24, stood in a laboratory surrounded by aliens and humans working side by side. "Her exchange program is going well," Yun-Mai said. "Scientists from 17 worlds now work together." Jin-Ho nodded with pride. After helping save countless worlds from the gamma-ray disaster, He-Yun had become humanity's ambassador to the stars. She believed knowledge shared might prevent future conflicts. "And what about Su-Bin's discovery?" Jin-Ho asked. Yun-Mai's face grew serious. She handed him her tablet. "It's confirmed. The collective was manipulated. Another species, more advanced, pushed them to attack us." Jin-Ho studied the data. Evidence showed that another civilization, hidden beyond the edge of known space, had fed false information to the collective, made them believe humans would become a terrible threat. "Why?" Jin-Ho asked. "Why make them destroy us?" "We don't know yet," Yun-Mai admitted. "But Su-Bin is leading a mission to find out." The Vengeance Asterisk, now upgraded with technology from their former enemies, was searching the galaxy's edge for clues. Jin-Ho walked back to the window and looked at the toxic clouds that still covered Earth. 5 years ago, he had authorized the dimming of 4 stars. The revenge had been sweet but short. Now came the long work of building a future. A message appeared on his screen. It was from Do-hyun, now working on a defense system that would ensure no one could ever burn Earth's skies again. "The shield network is online," the message read. "We are protected." Jin-Ho smiled grimly. Humanity had learned harsh lessons. They had nearly become monsters in their quest for justice, but they had pulled back from that edge. Now they were spreading to new worlds, carrying with them both the memory of Earth's burning and the knowledge of how stars could be dimmed. A dangerous species indeed, but one that had learned the cost of vengeance. Jin-Ho looked up at the toxic sky once more. "They thought we would burn and die quietly," he said softly, repeating the words he had spoken in that bunker 5 years ago. They were wrong, and there are more of them out there. Somewhere beyond the clouds, beyond the stars, something had wanted humanity gone. And Jin Ho knew with cold certainty that someday they would find out why. The galaxy had burned their skies. They had dimmed its stars. And a terrible peace was born. The *Vengeance* hung in space near the edge of the Talon system. This was home to the aliens who had led the vote to burn Earth. Su-bin stared at the main screen, which showed a beautiful blue-white star surrounded by 12 planets. "They have no idea we're here," said the sensor officer. "Good," Su-bin replied. "Prepare the message." Hae-yoon worked at a console nearby, fingers flying over the controls. "The translator is ready. We can send in their language." Su-bin nodded. "Put it on all their channels. I want every being in this system to hear it." Hae-yoon pressed a button. "Broadcasting now." Su-bin took a deep breath and spoke. "To the people of the collective, this is Captain Su-bin Kang of Earth. You burned our world. You killed billions of our people without warning or reason. We are here for justice." The bridge was silent as her words went out, translated into the collective's language. "You have 1 month by your time to evacuate your colonies. You will acknowledge your crimes against Earth. You will help our survivors find new homes. If you refuse, we will shut off your stars." Su-bin signaled to Hae-yoon to end the transmission. "Now we wait," Su-bin said. It didn't take long for a response. The screen flickered and showed a tall, thin alien with large eyes. It spoke, and their computer translated. "This is High Commander Lauren of the Talon. Your threat is noted but impossible. No species has the technology to shut off stars. Stop these games, primitives." Su-bin looked at Hae-yoon, who nodded slowly. "They don't believe us," Su-bin said. "They need a demonstration." "I prepared for this," Hae-yoon replied. "There's a small star at the edge of this system. No planets. No life. We can show them there." Su-bin considered this. A demonstration would reveal they weren't bluffing. But it would also show the aliens what they could do. "Do it," she finally said. The *Vengeance* moved silently to the small distant star. Hae-yoon prepared a smaller version of the starbreaker. "This won't fully shut it down," she explained. "Just make it flare, then dim, enough to prove we can affect a star." Su-bin nodded. "Send another message first. Tell them to watch the star designated KR-12 in their charts." Hae-yoon sent the message, then launched the small device. It sped toward the distant red star. Impact in 3, 2, 1. The tiny star flared brilliantly, then dimmed to half its brightness. The effect was visible across the system. "Now they know we're serious," Su-bin said. The communication system lit up almost immediately. High Commander Lauren's face appeared, now showing clear fear. "What have you done?" the alien demanded. "This is impossible technology." "No," Su-bin replied coldly. "It's just technology you didn't think we had. Your mistake was thinking us weak. You have 1 month to meet our demands." After ending the transmission, Su-bin turned to her communications officer. "Contact the other ships. I want to know if they've delivered their messages." Reports came in one by one. Each of the 7 alien species had received humanity's ultimatum. 3 had immediately responded with offers to talk. 4, including the Talon, had rejected the threat as impossible. "Until we demonstrated the starbreaker," Su-bin noted. "Now the Talon are scared." Min-su approached Su-bin quietly. "Captain, the other ships report panic in some systems. Mass evacuations have already started." Su-bin nodded. "Good. Let them run." "But where will they go?" Min-su asked. "If we shut off 7 stars, we displace trillions of beings." "They should have thought of that before they displaced us," Hae-yoon said sharply. Su-bin looked at the young engineer. The pain of Earth's loss was still raw for her. "For all of them." "We've made our point," Su-bin said. "Now we wait 1 month." See which of them are wise enough to save their people. The Vengeance moved to a safe distance, watching as panic spread through the Talon system. Ships began to leave the planets nearest to the star. The evacuation had begun. Su Bin watched the growing chaos with cold satisfaction. They feared us enough to try to kill us all. Now they will learn that fear was justified. The other crew members nodded in agreement. The collective had started this war. Humanity would finish it. 1 month to decide. 1 month before the stars began to die.